So at some point, maybe you've experienced this before, where you're stomping through the house and you're just like, what does a guy or a girl have to do to get some peace and quiet around here? I would say most of us lack peace, we lack quietness, and certainly the world that we live in lacks peace. As we wake up in the morning, most of us, we start off the day, we get out of bed, and it's like our hair's on fire, right? We get a little food in our stomach, we drive to work or drive to school, we go on with our day, we get a little bit of lunch, we run into people, we have conversations, we finish our work day, and then we get home, we try to hang out maybe with the family, do a couple things, have some fun, experience some of summer in Alaska, and then we crash into our beds and we think to ourselves, when will I experience peace? You know, one of the things that we know is that blessed is someone who knows peace. We need to experience peace. The problem is we live in a world without peace. We have a lack of peace between us and other people, right? The things that we say to one another, it breaks this sense of peace between individuals. We live in a world that lacks racial peace and political peace. We live in a world that lacks love for one another, and because of what we do and how we act, we lack peace. I think even within ourselves, we look back at our lives and I think we see what we've done and what we've said and where we've been, and if we're honest, if we can be honest today, we would say that we've done things we can't fix. We've said things we can't take back, and because of all of those things, we lack peace. Well, as with all things, we come back to Jesus. One of the names for Jesus is He is the Prince of Peace. He actually comes to bring peace to the world. And what we know about Jesus is He had this way about Him that was really attractive to people. They wanted to follow Him because there was just something about this man. As He walked through the day, He just walked through His day with peace. I mean, can you imagine? Everywhere He went, no matter what He did or what He experienced or what He encountered, the opposition and the criticism that Jesus got, He was a man of peace. Can you imagine what it would be to live a life where you simply knew what peace was? But the difference between me and you and Jesus is that Jesus was holy. He was righteous and pure, and so He could live a life of peace. And so what that means is we need righteousness to experience peace. We need what Jesus had to experience peace, but the problem is we can't do that. We can't live righteous. I'm going to say something today that's going to hurt someone. I'm going to do something today that is not going to please God. And it's probably going to be something that I look back on and say, man, I wish I hadn't done that. And I can't fix that. The only way to heal what's broken in your life and in mine is to receive the blood of Christ. Jesus died as the payment for our sin. And so because of that, we can receive His grace. And what happens is that when we do that, God actually imputes righteousness upon us. He calls us righteous. And that day, that moment, that second that we receive His righteousness is the moment that we can know peace. Because in that moment, we have peace within ourselves. And more importantly than anything, we have peace with God. In Isaiah 32, it actually talks about this idea of righteousness. It says, when we experience this righteousness, then we will know peace. It says that is actually what will happen, is we'll know peace through the righteousness of Christ, not through what you do or I do, but through what Christ has already done. And then it says the result of this is quietness and trust forever. All of a sudden, when you have peace, guess what you can do? You can actually be quiet. You can actually sit alone with yourself and be alone with God and know that no matter where you've been or what you've done, that there is peace between you and your Creator. And so I just pray for you today. Would you go and would you walk in peace?